Welcome to Mr. R's art class. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications. Thumbs, subs, and ring that bell. So for this video here, we're going to practice how to actually make an environment, how to make a place, how to make a location. Eventually, you're going to make your own one-point perspective drawing. For this one, we're just going to practice this together. So you need to find a blank sheet of paper, grab a blank sheet of paper and a ruler, and we're going to go ahead and try to make this here. Okay, so once you have your blank sheet of paper, you need to rotate your paper vertically because we need to draw this horizontal line. So this horizontal line is right here on step 1, and we need to be able to draw that in first and then kind of figure out where our vanishing point is. So our paper is sitting in front of us horizontally, but we need to find where the center point of this piece of paper is. Okay, so in order to do that, we need to rotate our paper vertically so we can figure out the halfway point of the height of our piece of paper. So I'm saying that this is the height because our paper is going to be sitting in front of us horizontally, so then that this would be the height here. Okay, so we need to rotate our paper vertically. Go ahead and grab your ruler, and we need to find, in order to find the halfway point of this piece of paper, we need to measure the distance or the height of this piece of paper. The height of this piece of paper would be 8.5. So make sure that your zero, that first black line, zero is lined up with the left hand side of your paper, and we need to divide 8.5 by 2. 8.5 divided by 2 would be 4.25. So a quarter mark is that medium size mark there. We have this other mark that's a little bit bigger, that would be 4.5, but we're trying to make a mark here at this medium size mark, so we're 4.25, that medium size mark there. Okay, so that's where the quarter mark is. We need to do the same thing up here. Make sure the zero is lined up with the left hand side. Quarter mark is that medium size mark there. And then we're going to line these two marks up, and then you could draw lightly in case I make a mistake. I might be drawing a little bit darker than you would. That's okay. This is the horizontal line. Now what we need to do is draw our vanishing point. In this example here, the vanishing point is not at the center of our piece of paper, so we're not going to find the center point of a piece of paper. This vanishing point is a little bit off to the right, so it's maybe over here somewhere. So try to go a little bit past the center of our piece of paper. The center of our piece of paper would be around here somewhere, so we need to go a little bit to the right of that. So you need to draw a point on your horizontal line. And then what we need to do is we need to find where this road is going to start. So this is going to be a road eventually, or a sidewalk. You need to find where this road is going to start. So our road is going to start maybe somewhere down here. So all we're going to do is we're going to draw some dots in here first. We're not just going to start drawing lines. We're just going to draw some dots. So I drew a dot right down here. And then this second dot is going to be to the right of that vanishing point. So I'm just kind of guesstimating here. I'm just trying to eyeball where that point might be on my piece of paper and where that second point might be on my piece of paper down here. And then we're going to go ahead and connect those dots. So first we always start with a dot and then we turn it into a line. So we're kind of connecting the dots here. So start with a dot, then we connect the dots. All of these dots that we draw and all these lines that we draw should be headed towards our vanishing point. That's what makes some of these drawings one-point perspective drawings. Okay, and then we need to draw a rectangle here on the left-hand side. So again, I'm just going to sketch it in. You could draw yours a little bit more accurate, but it looks like that bottom right-hand corner of this side of the building is going to be hitting the sidewalk, or what will be our sidewalk here. I'm going to put my ruler here at the bottom left-hand corner of this rectangle. I'm going to try to make it as rectangle as possible. And what I'm doing is I'm creating an imaginary rectangle here with the side of my ruler and the side of my paper. So this kind of looks like a good imaginary rectangle. Okay, so I'm going to go a little bit past my vanishing point. Going a little bit past my vanishing point to draw this rectangle in. Okay, there we go. And then we're going to do the same thing here with the right hand side. I'm just trying to eyeball this space here. Does it look like a good imaginary rectangle? Does this space here look like a rectangle between my ruler and the left side of my paper for this sketch? Lining up the corner of this rectangle where my pencil's at. And then I'm going to draw straight up until I hit maybe where that top of that first line I drew is. Okay, then we're going to connect those marks. So I'm trying to figure out, is my ruler straight as possible for this sketch? And the way that I'm doing that is I'm creating an imaginary rectangle with the top of my ruler and the top of this paper. So this kind of looks like an even, long rectangle up here. Okay, and then you would erase this horizontal line because this is going to be a solid object. This is going to be a building. So we're erasing that line that goes through our building. Right, so this is going to be a solid object. Okay, then we need to connect every single corner, at least these two first corners here. This corner is already connected, so that one's good. Then we need to connect this top corner for this step here. Connect this top corner to our vanishing point. So first you're making a dot, line up the points, and you're connecting. And then we need to figure out how far back is this first building going to go. So we need to draw the side of this building. In order to draw the side of this building, we need to draw a parallel line, a parallel vertical line. So what that means is that we need to have another line here that goes in the same direction as the front corner of this building. So we need to have a vertical line that goes in the same direction as this first corner of this building. So I'm going to kind of guesstimate here. Maybe this building goes this far back. It's going in that same direction as the front corner of my building here. Okay, so now that I have that, again, we're pretending that this is a solid object, so we need to erase this part of the building here. So erasing this part here because this is a solid object. Okay, so we got that erased. And then we're over here, we're drawing another edge, another building that's facing us. So anything that faces us is usually a regular shape. So it could be a square or it could be a rectangle. So this building here, this edge, this side of this building is facing us. So it needs to look like a rectangle. Any corners, any edges going towards your vanishing point, those are usually going to be diagonal lines. Anything that's facing us as the viewer looking at this drawing is usually going to be a regular shape. So that could be a square or it could be a rectangle when we're drawing a one-point perspective drawing. So I'm going to kind of draw this edge here starting from this building. Right, so it's a little bit shorter than this first building here. It's a little bit shorter. I didn't want to draw it too close just so you could see here. Then I'm going to go all the way to this top diagonal line. And then I'm going to draw straight down. Until I get to this diagonal line down here. So I kept those in there just so I could see where I'm actually going to stop. Okay, so once I get to that diagonal line, I'm going to stop and then I'm going to draw straight across here. So this top of the building should be parallel. Alright, so it should be going the same direction as this bottom part of the building. So this bottom part of the building needs to be straight as possible. Okay, so in one-point perspective drawings, we usually have three different types of lines. We have diagonal lines. Any diagonal line is usually going towards this vanishing point. If you have a diagonal line, it needs to be going towards this vanishing point. Then you have these vertical lines and these horizontal lines. Usually the vertical lines and the horizontal lines, those are objects that are facing us. So this is the side of the building, it's facing us, so it's a straight vertical line and a straight horizontal line. Any corner, any edge that goes diagonal usually needs to be going towards that vanishing point. Okay, so we have this rectangle here. I'm going to go ahead and erase this horizontal line, this horizon line that goes through this solid object. So this solid object is going to be the side of a second building here. Okay, so if we erase that, And I kept this line here because we're going to be drawing it in anyway. So this line, they erase it, right? So they erased it, but I kept it there. So then this line, this corner of this building should still be there. Then we're going to move over to this next step, and we need to determine how far back is this second building going to go. How far back is this building going to go? I'm going to kind of figure out maybe around here somewhere. So I'm going to draw a dot. And this distance here, it looks even about this distance for this sketch. And so I'm going to draw a line straight down. And we need to erase this horizon line, this horizontal line that goes through this building here. Okay, then we're going to be moving over here to this next step. And we need to start drawing a door. We're going to start drawing a door that goes in the same direction vertically as this edge here, so we can kind of follow that edge of that building, and it goes about halfway up this building here for that door. So about halfway up. And so again, I'm creating this imaginary rectangle between the side of my ruler and the corner of this building. And so that's kind of helping me keep my ruler as straight as possible for this sketch here. So once we have that line, I'm going to draw a dot there at the top of this door, connecting that dot to my vanishing point, connected to the vanishing point, connected to the top of that door. My door is probably going to stop over here somewhere, so in this example, they draw a line all the way through. You don't have to do that, you just have to figure out how far do you want this door to go. So this door for this building will maybe stop around here somewhere. So you would just connect your 2 points, your 2 marks, connect to where this door is going to stop. So my door is going to stop right there. I'm going to draw a dot, and then I'm going to draw a line straight down. Okay, so I'm actually going to move my ruler to this side here so I can see this straighter edge. And again, creating an imaginary rectangle between the side of my door and the side of this building. And this line looks straight, and it looks like my ruler is straight as possible with this side of this door or the side of this building. I'm going to draw a line straight down. And so it looks like we're on this step here. So we kind of skip these because they do a line all the way through. They do a line all the way through. And we just kind of skipped a couple steps. And then this sidewalk is going towards the distance, and the sidewalk is diagonal. So remember, you have 3 different types of lines. If it's a diagonal line, it's usually going towards this vanishing point. If it's a vertical line or a horizontal line, it's usually an object that's facing us as the viewer. So this sidewalk, we're going to draw the beginning of where the sidewalk is. So it looks like it's about there. And I'm going to line up that point, line up this point here with that vanishing point, draw that in, and then notice here for this sidewalk that these lines, as they get further away, they slightly get closer and closer and closer together. And again, they're not diagonal lines, they're just straight horizontal lines. So you would draw these horizontal lines in for this sidewalk. So I'm just using, for this first one, I'm just using the distance of my ruler. But as you get further away, I'm going to put my ruler up here on top so you can see how wide this sidewalk is. And then the next one should be a little bit smaller. And I'm paying attention to this horizontal line, this horizon line as well, because I'm trying to keep my ruler straight with it. Okay, so this one's wider, this one's visually a little bit smaller. This next sidewalk slab should be a little bit smaller. Again, as you get closer towards this vanishing point, these lines get closer and closer and closer together. So I'm actually drawing a little bit more slabs of concrete of the sidewalk than this one has here, just so you could see that as you get further away, that they get closer and closer together. So that creates that illusion of distance, that something is, as gets further away, it gets closer together. Okay, so you're just drawing these windows, you could draw on these windows, and then don't forget to get rid of these diagonal lines that connect these buildings together, and you'll be pretty much done here for this example. So draw on these windows, get rid of these horizon lines, these diagonal lines, and if you have any questions, go ahead and let me know. Thank you for watching the video. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications. And feel free to watch any of the other related videos.